Hello and welcome. I want to start today by asking you to consider a statement that might sound completely backwards. To successfully lose weight and become healthier after the age of 60, you need to stop focusing on simply eating less. I know. It flies in the face of everything we've been told for the last 50 years. Calories in, calories out. Just eat smaller portions. Push the plate away. We've heard it all, and many of us have tried it all, only to find ourselves feeling weaker, more tired, and often with the weight creeping right back on. If you've ever felt that frustration, that sense that your body is playing by a different set of rules now, I want you to know you're not alone, and you're not wrong. The truth is, your body is playing by a different set of rules. The number one mistake I see seniors make when trying to lose weight is aggressively cutting calories without a strategic plan. This approach, which might have worked in our 30s or 40s, becomes a dangerous trap in our 60s, 70s, and beyond. Why? Because it can trigger a cascade of problems far more threatening than carrying a few extra pounds. It can accelerate muscle loss, weaken our bones, and rob us of our independence. In fact, a landmark study from Wake Forest University highlighted a long-standing concern in the medical community. The lead researcher, Dr. Stephen Krzyzewski, noted that for years, weight loss in old folks is just understood to be a bad prognostic sign. This isn't to say weight loss is impossible or bad, but it highlights that how we lose weight as we age is critically, fundamentally important. So today, we are going to dismantle that old, outdated advice. This isn't about giving you a license to eat recklessly. It's about giving you a new, smarter blueprint. It's about learning to eat in a way that specifically protects your strength, boosts your metabolism, and builds a more resilient you. In this conversation, we're going to cover three critical shifts in thinking. First, we'll dive deep into the real enemy we should be fighting, a condition most people have never heard of, but that affects millions of older adults. Second, we will lay out the most powerful nutritional tool you have to protect your body during weight loss. And third, we'll talk about the type of movement that is far more effective than endless cardio for reshaping your body and securing your independence for years to come. By the end of our time together, you'll understand why eating smarter, not eating less, is the key to a healthier, stronger, and more vibrant life. And a quick but important reminder, I am not a doctor, and this video is for informational purposes only. The goal here is to share valuable, research-backed information that you can discuss with your trusted healthcare professionals. Always consult with your doctor before making any significant changes to your diet or exercise routine, especially if you have pre-existing health conditions. Your health is a team effort, and your doctor is the captain of that team. All right, let's begin by unpacking the central problem. Why does the simple eat less model fail us so profoundly as we get older? The answer lies in a single powerful word: sarcopenia. It sounds like a complicated medical term, but its meaning is simple and incredibly important. Sarcopenia is the age-related involuntary loss of muscle mass, strength, and function. The National Institute on Aging reports that after the age of 50, you can lose as much as 1% of your muscle mass every single year if you're not actively working to prevent it. Think about that. By the time you're 70, you could have lost 20% of the muscle you had at 50. This isn't just about not being able to open a stubborn jar or carry all the groceries in one trip. Your muscle is your metabolic engine. It's what burns calories, even when you're sitting still. As you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down. This is why it feels like you gain weight just by looking at a dessert menu. Your body's furnace just isn't burning as hot as it used to. Furthermore, your muscles are your body's armor. They support your skeleton, help you maintain balance, and protect you from devastating falls. Losing this armor makes you more vulnerable, more frail. And here is the absolute crux of the issue. When younger people lose weight, they might lose about 75% fat and 25% muscle. But for older adults, especially those who aren't eating or exercising correctly, that ratio can be much, much worse. A significant portion of the weight you lose on a severe, low-protein, calorie-restricted diet will be that precious, functional muscle. So you look at the scale, and the number is going down, and you feel a moment of victory. But what you can't see is that you're becoming metabolically slower and physically weaker in the process. You are, in essence, winning the battle, but losing the war for your long-term health and independence. This is the dangerous trap of eating less. It's a short-term trick that can lead to long-term frailty. The goal isn't just to be a smaller version of yourself. It's to be a stronger, more capable version of yourself. So if indiscriminately cutting calories is the #1 mistake, what is the single most important correction we can make? Where do we begin to build a new, smarter strategy? It all starts with prioritizing one magnificent macronutrient: protein. If sarcopenia and muscle loss are the villains of our story, protein is the hero. Think of protein as the bricks and mortar for your body. You can't build or even repair a brick wall without a steady supply of new bricks. In the same way, your body cannot maintain, let alone build, muscle tissue without a sufficient and consistent supply of protein. And here is a critical piece of information that many people and even some doctors who aren't specialists in nutrition miss. Our protein needs actually increase as we get older. It sounds counterintuitive, but our bodies become less efficient at processing the protein we eat. This phenomenon is sometimes called anabolic resistance. It means that for an older person to get the same muscle-building benefit from a serving of protein, they often need to consume more of it than a younger person would. For years, the standard recommendations were one size fits all. But modern research, including guidance from experts at institutions like Harvard Health, suggests that older adults, especially those trying to maintain muscle while losing weight, should aim for a higher intake. A common recommendation for healthy older adults is about 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, or about 0.5 grams per pound. For a 150-pound person, that's about 75 grams of protein per day. For a 180-pound person, that's around 90 grams. Now, that might sound like a lot, but this is where we shift from eating less to eating smarter. It's not just about the total amount, it's about the timing. I remember talking to a gentleman named Frank. He was in his late 70s and was worried about his weakening legs. He told me, "Oh, I get plenty of protein. I have a big steak for dinner every night." He was making a common mistake. His body could only use a certain amount of that protein at one time for muscle synthesis. The rest was largely wasted or converted to energy. A far more effective strategy, as studies on muscle protein synthesis have shown, is to spread your protein intake evenly throughout the day. Your action step here is to aim for about 25 to 30 grams of protein with each meal: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What does 25 to 30 grams of protein look like? It's a 4-ounce chicken breast. It's a 5-ounce serving of salmon or tuna. It's a cup of Greek yogurt mixed with a scoop of protein powder. It's a cup and a half of lentils or chickpeas for our plant-based eaters. When you start your day with a protein-rich breakfast, like scrambled eggs or that Greek yogurt, instead of a simple piece of toast or a sugary cereal, you are sending a powerful signal to your body from the moment you wake up. You are telling it, "We are not breaking down today. We are building. We are preserving." This single shift from a low-protein, carb-heavy diet to a protein-forward eating plan is the foundational first step to losing fat while protecting the muscle that keeps you strong and vital. It's the difference between becoming frail and becoming fit. All right, let's just take a quick breath here. We've covered some incredibly important ground. We've unmasked the real enemy, sarcopenia, and we've introduced its greatest opponent, protein. The core idea is simple, but revolutionary for many. The goal isn't just to get smaller, it's to get stronger. It's about changing your body composition, not just emptying it out. If this is already starting to reframe the way you think about weight loss and healthy aging, I would be so grateful if you could take a quick second to tap that like button below this video. It's a small click for you, but it tells the YouTube algorithm that this is valuable information, and it helps get this message out to other seniors who might be stuck in that frustrating eat less cycle. Thank you so much for that. Now that we're fueling our bodies correctly with enough protein spread throughout the day, we need to give that protein a critical job to do. We need to send a direct signal to our muscles, telling them to absorb that protein and grow stronger. This brings us to the second pillar of our strategy, and it's one that counters decades of conventional fitness wisdom. That is the undeniable power of resistance training. For as long as I can remember, the advice for weight loss was cardio, cardio, cardio. We were told to get on the elliptical, walk on the treadmill, or join an aerobics class to burn calories. And while cardiovascular exercise is absolutely fantastic for your heart, your lungs, and your mood, it does very little to combat sarcopenia. It doesn't send that powerful signal to build and maintain muscle. In fact, excessive cardio, especially when combined with a low-calorie diet, can contribute to muscle loss. This is where resistance training becomes our most valuable ally. A groundbreaking study conducted at Wake Forest University, which I mentioned earlier, put this to the test directly. They took a group of older, overweight adults and put them on a weight loss diet. They split them into groups. One group did only aerobic exercise, like walking on a treadmill. The other group did only resistance training, using weight machines 3 times a week. The results were astounding. Both groups lost about the same amount of weight, around 16 pounds. But here's the crucial difference. The cardio-only group lost about 4 pounds of that from muscle. The resistance training group lost almost no muscle at all. All of their weight loss was from fat. They didn't just get smaller. They fundamentally changed their body composition for the better. They became leaner, stronger, and metabolically healthier. When I talk about resistance training, I want to be very clear. This does not mean you need to start training for a bodybuilding competition or hoisting massive barbells. The message here is simple. Your muscles need to be challenged against a force. That force can be your own body weight. It can be inexpensive resistance bands, it can be light dumbbells, or it can be weight machines at a local gym or community center. The key is progressive overload, which is just a fancy way of saying you gradually make it a little more challenging over time. I think of my friend Charles, one half of our Concerned Charles and Cautious Carol persona. He was terrified of injuring his back and knees, and thought the weight room was a place for young athletes. His physical therapist started him with something incredibly simple, a chair squat. He would simply stand up from a dining room chair and sit back down, slowly and with control, 10 times. At first, he had to use his hands to push off. After a few weeks, he didn't need his hands anymore. Then he started holding a small 5-pound weight. 6 months later, he was not only stronger, but his chronic knee pain had lessened because the muscles supporting the joint were more robust. He started with a simple, functional movement and progressively made it harder. That is the essence of resistance training. Your action step is to incorporate some form of resistance training into your routine 2 to 3 times per week. This could be as simple as those chair squats, wall push-ups, or bicep curls with soup cans. The red flag here is incredibly important. Please, talk to your doctor or a physical therapist before you begin. They can help you identify safe exercises based on your personal health, your joint stability, and any pre-existing conditions like osteoporosis or arthritis. They can help you build a program that challenges you without endangering you. Combining a protein-rich diet with resistance training is the one-two punch that effectively knocks out sarcopenia. The protein provides the building blocks, and the resistance training provides the construction crew and the blueprint, telling your body exactly where to use those blocks to build a stronger foundation for your future. So we're eating enough protein, and we're sending a powerful signal to our muscles to grow stronger through resistance training. This brings us to the third and final piece of our strategic puzzle. This is where we fine-tune our approach and ensure that every single bite of food we take is working for us, not against us. This is the shift from simply counting calories to focusing on nutrient density. The old "a calorie is a calorie" model is a dangerous oversimplification, especially for older adults. As we age, our calorie needs may decrease slightly due to a slower metabolism, but our need for vitamins and minerals, the micronutrients, often stays the same or even increases. This creates what nutritionists call the nutrient gap. We have a smaller calorie budget to spend, but we still need to buy the same amount of essential nutrients. This is why focusing on nutrient-dense foods is paramount. Think of it like this. Your daily calorie intake is like a financial budget. You can spend that budget on calorie-dense, nutrient-poor foods, which is like buying cheap, disposable trinkets. A can of soda, a bag of potato chips, a white bread sandwich with processed meat. These things give you a lot of calories, a quick hit of energy, but very little in the way of vitamins, minerals, fiber, or antioxidants. They fill you up momentarily, but leave your body starved for the real tools it needs to function. On the other hand, you can spend your budget on nutrient-dense foods. This is like investing in high-quality tools that will serve you for years. Think of a beautiful salad with dark leafy greens, colorful vegetables, grilled chicken, and a drizzle of olive oil. Or a bowl of steel-cut oats with berries, walnuts, and a scoop of Greek yogurt. These meals might have a similar number of calories to their junk food counterparts, but they are packed with the things our bodies crave: fiber to keep us full and manage blood sugar, calcium and vitamin D for bone health, B vitamins for energy, and antioxidants to fight inflammation. I remember my own mother struggling with this. She was trying to lose weight by eating tiny portions of her old favorites, like a small scoop of ice cream or half a pastry. She felt deprived and was always hungry, and she wasn't getting any healthier. The shift came when we reframed her goal. Instead of focusing on what to remove, we focused on what to add. Her action step was simple. Before every lunch and dinner, she had to have a small side salad or a cup of vegetable soup. We called it eating your vegetables first. This simple act did two things. First, it ensured she was getting a powerful dose of nutrients and fiber right at the start of her meal. Second, the fiber and water in the vegetables made her feel fuller, so she naturally wanted smaller portions of the more calorie-dense items that came after. She crowded out the less healthy foods with incredibly healthy ones. Your action step is to adopt the similar crowd-out mentality. Don't think about deprivation. Think about abundance. How can you add more color to your plate? Aim for a variety of fruits and vegetables every day. Switch from refined white bread and pasta to 100% whole grain versions. Choose lean proteins like fish, chicken, beans, and lentils. According to the National Institutes of Health, these foods provide the essential nutrients like calcium, vitamin D, and vitamin B12 that are crucial for older adults' health, helping to prevent osteoporosis and maintain nerve function. By focusing on the quality of your calories, not just the quantity, you give your body the premium fuel it needs to build strength, maintain energy, and thrive. This is the final step in moving away from the simplistic and dangerous eat less mindset to a holistic and empowering nourish more philosophy. So let's step back and look at the new powerful path we've laid out today. For decades, the conversation around weight loss for seniors has been tinged with fear and driven by a flawed premise. The goal was simply to shrink, to see a smaller number on the scale, often at the cost of our strength and vitality. Today, we have replaced that old broken model with a new empowering one. The goal is no longer to simply eat less, it is to eat smarter, move stronger, and live better. Let's quickly recap the victories you've gained today. Your first win, you've unmasked the true adversary. It's not the number on the scale, but the silent thief of strength known as sarcopenia. Understanding this enemy is the first step to defeating it. Your second win, you now possess the single most powerful nutritional weapon against muscle loss. By prioritizing protein and spreading it throughout your day, you provide your body with the essential building blocks it needs to stay strong and metabolically active. Your third win, you understand the profound difference between just exercising and training with purpose. You know now that resistance training is the signal your body needs to take that protein and build resilient, functional muscle, making you leaner and far less prone to injury. And your fourth and final win, you have shifted your focus from the frustrating task of calorie counting to the enjoyable art of nourishment. By prioritizing nutrient-dense foods, you're ensuring that every bite you take is a strategic investment in your long-term health. This is a fundamental shift in perspective. It's moving away from a mindset of restriction and deprivation and toward one of nourishment and empowerment. It's about taking control, not just of your weight, but of your future. It's about ensuring that your retirement years are defined by activity, engagement, and joy, not by frailty and fear. You have the knowledge, you have the tools, you have the power to build a stronger, healthier, and more vibrant you, starting today. Now, I would love to hear from you. This was a deep dive and we covered a lot. Which of these points was the biggest aha moment for you? Was it the concept of sarcopenia, the importance of spreading out your protein, or the surprising power of resistance training over cardio? Please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Your insights and experiences are invaluable, and they help make this a real community of people, supporting one another. And finally, if you found this conversation helpful and want more in-depth research-backed guides to thriving in your best years, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the little notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Be well, stay empowered, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.